Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet Good Torah. So today we're going to learn about the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, and it's this very special 10 days. It starts with Rosh HaShanah, and it ends with Yom Kippur. And in these 10 days, there's this amazing spiritual potential that we can actually rebuild ourselves into a new and improved person, and that's how we want to start the new year. We want to recreate ourselves, and then that's the first 10 days of the new year, and that's who we want to be for this coming year. And we're also going to look back and see maybe some of the mistakes we made, and then through Teshuvah we can start to rectify some of those mistakes. So the Rambam, in his Hilchos of Teshuvah, he explains that he says like any day of the year is good for doing Teshuvah, and any day of the year is good to cry out to Hashem. But he says these 10 days are amazingly special and beautiful. He said very beautiful to do this. So he quotes Yeshaya 55:6. He quotes Isaiah the prophet. And the pasuk is, Dirshu Hashem b'hi matzo, that you should seek out Hashem where he may be found, kara'uhu biyoso karov, and call to him when he is near. And Rambam is explaining that this pasuk is referring to these 10 days, where Hashem is very near and very close to us. So it's an interesting question, because isn't Hashem always close to us? I mean, Hashem's an infinite being. So it's true that and Hashem is always with us. Hashem's everywhere, and He's always with us in everything we're doing. But Hashem is also in the highest spiritual worlds. He's also, He sits on the Kisei HaKavod, His throne of glory. He's surrounded by all these malachim. And in that high spiritual world, it's a world, there is no sickness there. There's no death there. It's only good. There's no evil. Evil cannot exist there. So this is this amazing, like, elevated spiritual environment. So Hashem is there all the time, and Hashem is also with us here. So the goal of the Torah and the mitzvahs, why Hashem gave us the Torah and the mitzvahs, is that it can help us create a close relationship. It can help us get closer to Hashem. Hashem is this infinite being, so it's like, how do we get closer to Hashem? So the Torah and the mitzvahs teach us how to have a relationship and how to get close to Hashem. And it also helps us get close to other people. The Torah and the mitzvahs help us be kinder and more forgiving people, and this helps our relationships with all the people around us. So the Rabbi Gedaliah Shor in the Or Gedaliah, in the Sefer Or Gedaliah, he explains something that's interesting. He explains that if a person does an Aveira, if they do a Chet, if they make a mistake, or if they do one of the Lotah says, the negative mitzvahs of the Torah, that this actually starts to distance a person from Hashem. And it creates a condition called Timtum HaLev. It starts to create like a blockage in the Lev, and then it creates a blockage in his heart, and then the person starts to feel a distance from Hashem, and then he feels more, he's more blocked, that he wants to learn Torah and wants to do the mitzvahs. And this can, Hashem creates a chain reaction where a person really starts to drift away from Hashem. But Hashem created this very special thing called Teshuvah before he created everything. Teshuvah is one of the 10 things created before Hashem created the universe. And we'll learn a little bit of what Teshuvah is, and then how Teshuvah has an amazing power to actually to like renew us and to change mistakes that we made and to wipe them away and overturn them for the good. So let's learn a little bit of what Teshuvah actually is. So if someone makes a mistake, if someone does a Chet, they do an Avera. So the first step of the Teshuvah is the person has charata. He has a regret that he did that. Like he feels guilty and he feels ashamed that he did something like that. And the next step is azivas hachet, that he says that he never, like he has this feeling inside himself. He makes a resolution that he never wants to do this action again. He doesn't want to do this avera again, and it's something that he doesn't want to do anymore. And then the next step is a process called vidoi, where he actually confesses. He'll say, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I did this. I don't want to do it again. And then the fourth step of Teshuvah is where a person, Kabbalah al-Ha'asi, that he accepts upon himself in the future that he's never wants to do this again. So let's look in Sefer Or Gedaliah, and Rabbi Shor says something incredible here. He says that the time a person does Teshuvah, that he's overturned, he's made into a Bria Chadasha, he's made into a new creation. And there's an example of this in the Midrash from Shmos Rabbah. And it says that the Malachim, that they are made anew every day, and they praise the Kadosh Baruch Hu. They praise the Holy One, blessed be He, and that He returns them to this river of fire, and it's called the river of Dinor. And that they come out of this river and they return, and then Elohim, He makes them anew. And this is the same for the Jewish people. All of Yisrael, when they're sinking in their avonos, when they're sinking in an avera from the Yetzer Hara, that's inside their goof, that they can return with teshuvah, and then Elohim, and then Hashem will every year he's on Rosh HaShanah and Yom Kippur he's gonna forgive them. He's gonna forgive them of their averas, and he's gonna make them new. He's gonna renew them in the yiraso, that in our awe and respect for Hashem. So he brings a pasuk, and the pasuk is "V'nasati lechem leiv chadash," that I will give to you a new heart, a leiv chadash, a new heart, and that at the time that the person does teshuvah, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that He renews him, He machadeshes him, He makes him anew. And this is just like the example of the malachim they're crossing over, they're being created from this river of fire, and they're going back in, and they come out bleached and refreshed and renewed, and the person and the impression of the ra, the impression of any like negative influence that the avera had on the person, Hashem now removes from them. So it's really a fascinating time. So we have 10 days, and in the natural world, we say that the week is 7 days. We have 6 days, the 6 days of creation, and then Shabbos, and that forms each week. So each week is 7 days. But the world was created with 10. So Hashem spoke these Asar Ma'amaros. He spoke these 10 sayings. So it starts with Bereshis bara Elokim, like Hashem created Shemayim the Aretz, He created the heavens and the earth. And like the next one is Vayihior, and Hashem said, "Let there be light," and Hashem, and everything Hashem said. So Hashem brought all of creation into existence with these 10 sayings, and He created these spiritual worlds with the basis of these 10 spheros. So I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but there's 10 spheros, and through these 10 days, we can ascend each day, and we can do a teshuvah, and we can elevate ourselves, and we can recreate ourselves through these 10 days. And we can think like, do we want to be kinder? Do we want to be nicer? Do we want to be more giving people? We can look back, and especially if there's anyone that we've wronged, like Yom Kippur, it won't give us kapara for that. We have to get forgiveness from the person. If there's anyone who wronged, this is the 10 days we're asking them for forgiveness. And then we want Hashem to act, to judge us with forgiveness and kindness. So we're going around, we're seeing what kindness we can do, and the people around us, forgive them for anything they've done to us. So it's interesting. So the lowest of the spheros is Malchus, and so Rosh HaShanah. So we start there on Rosh HaShanah, and Malchus represents kingship. And it's interesting because one of the avodas of Rosh HaShanah is we inaugurate the king. We say that Hashem's our melech, our king. We blow the shofar, and shofar was used at the inauguration of the king. And then we start to ascend these spheros. And it's very complicated, so I'm not going to go for exactly the avoda of each day. And honestly, I don't really understand enough to teach right now. And B'ezrat Hashem, one day, when I learn more clearly, it would be an amazing shiur to go through all these 10 days and what's the actual thing we can do each day. But the bottom 7 spheros represent the physical, natural world. So 7 is the days of the week, and it's the natural world, and then 8 starts to go above that. So we have holidays like Hanukkah, which is the 8 days, and it goes above the teva, it goes above the natural world into the supernatural. But it's interesting because these 10 days take us into the supernatural, and we go to the highest sphera, which is Yom Kippur, and that's the sphera of Keser, this is the lower crown here in the physical world, and this is the higher spiritual crown in the highest spiritual world. So Hashem's with us here, in the physical world and everything we do, but Hashem's also here in Keser in the highest spiritual realms. But we take this journey on these next 10 days where we can start to elevate ourselves, and finally we reach Yom Kippur, where we act like the malachim. We dress in the white with the kittel, and we're always wearing the talis, which we don't usually do during the year. for every davening, for the Mari, if we wear the talis, we usually wear for Shachris and Musaf on Shabbos, but we're wearing it there, wearing it for Mincha, wearing it for the special Ne'ilah that's on Yom Kippur. And we're wearing it all through all the davening on Yom Kippur, and we're not eating, we're not drinking, and we're more like spiritual beings. We're more like the Malachim. We're coming out of the physical world into the spiritual world, and we're reinventing ourselves through these 10 days. And then we're doing Teshuvah. We're asking for a kapara, for forgiveness for we mentioned every single kind of chet, avera. And we do these 10 vidois, we do these 10, al chets during the davening. So we do these 5 sets of davening, and we do our personal davening by ourselves, our quiet Shemona Esrei, and then we do the repetition with the whole sibur, with the whole congregation. So we end up with these 10 vidois, and then it's a special day where we're in the spiritual existence, we're more like Malachim, and through these 10 days, we can recreate ourselves into a new person, into a better person, and the person that we want to be in this new year. It's pretty complicated, but hopefully you got something out of it, and may we all do Teshuvah during these 10 days, really think about who we really want to be this year, try to get forgiveness if we feel like we've wronged anyone, and see what didn't we like about our actions, what averas, do we have to do Teshuvah for, and trying to come closer with Hashem, and then closer with all those around us. So may everyone have a really spiritually elevating 10 days, and have a really elevating fast on Yom Kippur, and hopefully B'ezrat Hashem will do another shir on Yom Kippur before the fast starts. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you back again soon on Sweet Good Torah. Thank you.